Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Got some parts laid out here on the bench for the 55 Chevy. It's for the Left Coast Group Build 23. I guess maybe I should probably stop showing this box because I'm actually not doing this version. As you guys that watch my channel know, I'm actually doing the Bad Man, recreating the kit from my childhood that I would have liked to have been able to build better back then, but that's where I was at the time. So just got my parts laid out here, and we're going to do just a couple things in this video. I'm not going to drag this one out real long. We're just going to kind of get, you got to start someplace, right? So we might as well start from the beginning right here on the channel. I know I've been wanting to do a full build on the channel. I know I've done the Mac and things, and a lot of that was off camera. I want to try to do more of this one on camera as we go here, just, you know, to get, and I got a long time to do this, so we're talking 6 months, so I got plenty of time, so I know I don't have to feel rushed on that. But first things first on this kit, when I first did my video announcing that I had planned on doing this after I got those other builds done, I was looking through the comments, and Adam at Sodak Model Cars made the comment on make sure to clean up the left rear quarter panel. And he explained that, and I got to looking at it, and man, was he right. So what I've done here, this is the issue, the area that he was talking about. He had said that there was actually a break in the mold, and it is prominent. Now what I did is I took a Sharpie on here and I just highlighted all this area, and this is the break. This actually here, it looks like it was just kind of inset in the mold. I don't understand how all that works, so maybe I shouldn't speculate on all that, but you can see the outline of this where this needs cleaned up, and then look at this, and that's actually, you can feel that's pretty deep. Right through there. So I don't know, see if we can pick this up, if you can hear this. Probably can't hear that, but anyway, you see that does catch on there. So it's pretty deep. So definitely needs addressed. I just put the Sharpie on there and then sanded a little bit, and that really made that stand out. You see where that bad part of that mold is. So, and then on this side, you've got, if you can see that right along here, there's a pretty prominent mold line there as well. So I have to clean that up. But right now, what we're going to do, I tell you what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to tell you, how I do it sometimes. Now, I don't necessarily, and guys, generally, I don't wash my parts trees like this. I just tend to not. Because of past practice, I've noticed I don't really have any trouble with paint adhesion. I'm just being honest. That's what I've found out. Now, should you? Yeah, you probably should. But I don't generally do it on these smaller parts like this. Now, I did not wash this yet, but I will be washing this body and the hood when I get all the other prep work done. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up and find anything else that needs cleaned up on it. And then after I get all that done, get all the sanding residue, dust, anything, grease, fingerprints off of it, I will be washing that in some warm water and Dawn dish soap. So, but quite a bit of work here to do on this. So this I didn't worry about washing yet. But like I said, this stuff, I generally don't do that. Like I said, probably should, but haven't had any adverse effects up to this point on the smaller stuff. So, even with the undercarriage here, I've generally seen that I don't have that much of an issue. And it's underneath the car, so I tend to not to worry about that too much. Unless I want to show the thing and show the underneath side, then I'd probably take it in and scrub it and everything like that. But anyway, generally, you know, all the small attachments on the trees, I generally don't worry about washing those up. So, but what we're going to do right now, and guys, I got these nasty little bugs out here. So if you see these little guys infiltrating the place, I apologize, but Just something you got to deal with. See, my shop basically, it's wood collecting time, so I've been collecting wood for basically what I'm doing is my model garage is my woodshed, so that's maybe a part of that. But anyway, and there's no heat in here for the winter time, so when the winter rolls around, we'll have a different venue, but hopefully bring you the same quality of content that I've been bringing you so far. So I apologize for any little creepy crawlies we got going on here. All right, now enough of yakking about that. Okay, I'm going to set these off to the side for right now. And I just want to bring its body up here, and we're going to try to see if we can't clean this thing up a little bit. And I'm standing up doing this, so what I got here, I just got a piece of 800. I just picked an 800 grit. Right now at this stage, it doesn't really matter what grit you're using. You'll get some scratches in there, but I'm not worried about that. Those are going to come out as we keep going along on this. And I got a feel for this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand this back spot. I'm just going to sand this here to see if we can get that to smooth out on there. I say all the while, it's right close to that gas door, so I'm probably going to have to go back around and scribe the lines. And honestly, I'd actually initially thought of eliminating the gas door altogether because he'll be running off of the moon tank that'll be up front here. But I got to rethink it. I'm going to go ahead and leave that just for the looks of it. But we're going to just go ahead and try to get this. See if we can't clean up this mold break here and get these. I think these are going to sand off okay. Back here, that 800 seems to be doing the trick. And what I got for this body, I picked up some flat white primer because with this being going to be yellow, I don't want to hinder the. I really don't want to hinder the color of yellow that I'm going for on this. I have not got the paint yet, but I'm looking for some type of a, all I can say is like a Corvette yellow. I don't make sense. My brother had a 77 Camaro back in the day, and we painted that. It was a 77 Corvette yellow color, and really close to what this would be. This might have been just a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the paint shop. I'm going to look at some paint swatches and some paint chips and see what they've got. Would come close to it, but I didn't want to hinder the color of yellow on this, so that's why I went the flat white. Normally I use gray primer, and honestly it's just a cheap touch and tone primer. Last couple times I found it, I've got it at Meyer because so many other places had I wasn't getting it in. So it's like I think it's about $5 a can. So I mean, it's not super cheap, but it's not, it's not breaking the bank either at the same time. So those are coming along here. And we want to try to get into that spear because I'm still going to use this side trim on here. But we're just going to keep going at this. I might want to use just a little bit more coarse of a grit on that. Okay, so that looks like that's starting to clear up. See, that black's going away. So put the black in there with that Sharpie, and then that'll tell us, where we're. There we go. Just turn that paper. That's helping. Now, see, it's going to be difficult to get along that trim line without taking that trim away. So, and then still without, getting rid of this contour right there. So I think we're going along pretty good here. Okay. Just time, guys. That's what it takes. Time to do this stuff. Make it right. Okay, now I'm not feeling anything there really. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm gonna step down here a grade. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I got me a piece of 600. We're going to see. Yeah, I like the feel of that better already. Like I said, right now I'm not worried so much about scratches at the moment, because we'll take them. We'll get all them out of there in a wet sanding process later. That'll take care of that. So, like I said, we can rescribe that gas door if we have to. Yeah, see, that's looking better already. So that's coming out. And something else I noticed on this body, there's quite a ridge on this, which on the real car would have been more of a smooth rounded. So we're gonna have to knock that ridge off of there too. But right now, mainly what I want to focus on now is getting this filled. And see, we can go ahead and sand a little bit more on that, and that line is staying. So that's definitely where that break was. Yeah, it's pretty deep. So I'm just going to come across here real easy. And then that should take care of what was around there. See, there's very little black, maybe a little bit right there. Guys, I'm trying not to make this too boring for you. But this, I guess I really had taken time on the channel to show how I do my prep and everything. So I figured, oh, this would be a good opportunity. Actually excited about this build. I'm really anticipating to see how this one's going to come out. Okay. So now when we get this far, now that's a pretty good gouge there. So what we're going to do now, so I can find it. Used it the other day. Yeah, right here. I'm just going to get some of my body filler. I just use the Tamiya white putty. Stuff works pretty good. And I like to use, I'll take me just like an old craft stick, or this actually a coffee stirrer is what this is. And we'll work on this side of it. So what I do is I just put a little bit on the end of the stick here, right there like that. I found using this stuff is just like Brill cream, a little dab will do you. So we're just going to fill this in here. I have to make a little, grab a towel here, fellas and gals, if there's any gals watching. So we'll take this, try to smooth that out. You know, it's going to look ugly for me, but that's okay. We just need to get that thing filled in. All this is going to be, well, get down here where you can see it. How about that? All this will be gone anyway, so we just need to get, so I'm just taking it to cover up where that black was. So that, I know that doesn't look the greatest, but we're just going to let that set up a little bit, and then we'll go over and sand that smooth and see what we get with that. And then see, you still got some of that seam line right there. So let's just take that paper. We'll just come across down here. And these guys are not really thick. They're pretty light, so they're coming off pretty easy. And see these scratches here, we're not going to worry about that because they're going to all disappear later. I mean, obviously you don't go to no 80 or 100 grit on this part, but this is a 600 right here. Now sometimes I'll sand like this the whole entire body. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, you know, it just depends. But I do know, like the old man used to say, you know, the smoother your prep work, the smoother your paint work. So there is an adage to go on that. So, okay, there's still a little bit right there. And again, guys, once we start putting primer on this and wet sanding, that stuff's going to stand out with like a sore thumb with the primer on it. So it's still hard to see, but I think we got that side. And let's get this side. Let's just go ahead and do this one. And then I'll do more of this prep off camera then for next time, so we don't burn up a whole lot of video time just doing this stuff. But this is how I approach it, guys. And again, we can get it close initially, and then I say once we get our primer on it, and then get to wet sand, and we'll really see where we're at. That's when it'll start standing out for us. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, that's actually looking better. Okay, we're going to leave that one go for there. So we're going to leave this set up for a little bit there, and then we'll see if we can't come back and start scrubbing that off. But right now, why don't we go to the booth? We're just going to throw some primer on these. And actually, these guys here, are going to need filled as well. So we're going to still, I think we're going to go to the booth, and we're just going to throw some primer on this stuff. Be right back. All right, guys, we're at the booth here. I got to looking at a couple things as I was getting this stuff prepped up. I'm not going to prime these collectors here because they do have these little sink marks in them. So I'm going to clean all those up before I ever put any kind of primer on them. And I'll do that at another time. I'm not going to prime the hood right now because I want to prep it separately. So I took it off of the sprue there. And it's same as the engine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this engine together, and then I'm going to fill the seam on the oil pan on the bottom. And just get that all, maybe on the bell housing back here, get that all cleaned up good. So that'll be at a later time. But for right now, we're just going to do these couple trees I got here. And I did get to looking at some of these, and this is just initially to throw some primer on it to see if anything stands out. Because I'm going to want to be careful of this. Actually, this might not be too bad because that actually will be up under the front pan of the front of the car. So this might not be that big of a deal. But a couple of these other ones, I'll have to take them off of the tree then when I'm ready to paint them and go from there. But let's get some primer on these. I'm going to stop bumping my gums and hope this the fan on this booth isn't too awful loud for you guys. I tested it earlier. I don't think it's going to be too loud. If it is, I apologize. Maybe I can pipe some type of music in over that. Maybe. We'll see how it goes, though. All right. So this is the primer I use, the gray primer, Touch and Tone. Like I said, about $4 or $5 a can. I think it's about $5 a can. And you get it at Meyer. Rural King probably has this, places like that. So we're just going to shake this up. And then we're going to throw some primer. And then I got a hook back here on my rafters I hang these trees on. So just come on here. Hopefully you can see this pretty good here. So I just coat these trees. Cover both sides. Pretty cool, you got a simulated brake drum on the back of that wheel back. Alright. So then that'll help any imperfections show up, and then I can touch them up if I need to. So I'm gonna hang that one up, be right back. Now we'll get this interior tub here. I'll snap that off when I decide what color I want. This centerpiece here says remove. We're just going to get some primer on this. Not so worried about that print right there because it's going to be under the chassis pan anyways. But I just like to, whether you see it or not, I like to get primer and paint on it. Just me. Alright, that looks pretty good there. Chassis here. This will show you. Ah, see, he actually does do his own work. It's all fun, guys. Or in case you can see any of these wheel humps through the body, I was going to get primer and paint on them too. And again, I haven't decided what color to do the chassis. It's probably going to be like a satin, semi-gloss black. Just a race car, guys. Nothing fancy about it. So, all right, there's the chassis. Set it over out of the way here. And then I got to prime my seats. That one out of the way. The other seat. Probably about due for a new filter on that, on this booth. Okay, that one's done. And then the manifolds, I took them off the spruce so I could clean up the lines and where they attach, so we wouldn't have to worry about that looking ugly later. Give it a shake. And this will help any of them parting lines or anything. This will really help that stand out so I can see if I need to clean them up a little bit more. Little parts, doesn't need a whole lot of coverage. That, and then we'll get dash, roll cage. Now this, the roll bar was on the other one. Yeah, roll bar was on the other one. Anyway, like roll bar piece here, like I probably want to take that off and touch that up where it attaches and all this stuff. But like I said, this just gets an initial coat on it for me, and then I can see anything else that might need to be cleaned up later on. I probably should have left them heads off, but that's okay. It's interesting watching these other YouTube videos, these guys, because we all have our own unique style of building, and kind of interesting. You can like pick up new ideas. And now, see, some people would vote for taking this stuff off of the sprue first and painting it, but I don't really recommend that myself, especially for a newer builder, especially the ones that have all the part numbers. I know some of your AMT big rigs probably don't matter because a lot of them don't have corresponding numbers anyway, but especially for a newer builder, it's good to leave the parts on the tree until you're ready to use them so you got the corresponding number. to make sure you're getting the right part for the right application. So, but anyway, okay, that one looks like that's all covered. Yep, I'm gonna hang this up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I think that'll about do it for this video. Go a little bit longer. I'm close to half an hour here, so so much for keeping it short, huh? Anyways, hope it didn't bore you too bad. But we got our stuff basically primered here. So we get the chassis there's all ready to go. Then these trees, and then I can, like I said, I can go over these and look and see if there's any other things I need to clean up on them. But it gets us a start. Just get where we're at here, and then we can go from there. Interior. So like this really is probably not that far from paint now. I just got to decide what color combo I want to go with the inside. I'll do some looking around, Google images or whatever, and or just come up with my own thing. We'll see how that goes. Now the hood, like I said, the hood I'm going to do at a separate time because I'll prep it and do it separately. And if I want a different color on the underneath side, I'll just go ahead and spray that, let that get all set up and dried good, then I'll mask it off, and then we'll just go ahead and do this top side, the yellow or whatever. So that'll come along a little bit later. Again, these guys here, I think I said this a little bit ago, but I'm going to fill these sinkholes in, take care of that, and then at a later date, then we'll get the engine together, get that seam filled on that oil pan, and try to really detail this up. I think we do some nice things with this, make it look good. And then next time we'll tackle this, we'll smooth this out, let that set up real good and smooth that out, see where we're at, and then we'll just tackle the rest of the body there. One thing I noticed on this trim above the window right here, this is almost non-existent right there. Being that old mold like that. So I think I might have to go scribe a line across there and just open that, open that channel back up just a little bit, make that a little more distinct. So, but again, at the same time, it's a race car, so it may have some spots rough around the edges. I don't know. We may do a little weathering, but probably not. I'm probably going to just make this just as nice as possible and get us a good shelf setter and everything. So that's the body, and then of course my parts here, my seats, and I took these off of the sprue before, guys, because these were so close to the tree here. I'm not sure exactly which one they come off of. Yeah, I can't remember which one they come off of exactly, but they was the tab that was on the tree it was so close, almost like it was all one piece here. So I had to really carefully trim that away, sand that up a little bit. That's why I had these off the sprue too, when I was spraying them. But anyway, those are looking pretty good. We'll get a color for them, and then of course the headers. And I don't know why, guys. I would think because these I'm probably going to have white, so I probably should have just went ahead and used the white primer. But it is what it is. If these come out a little bit darker, it's not going to hurt anything. But there, see these lines on top? I am going to have to kind of clean that up. But see how that stands right out with that primer on there. So we'll take care of that business. But anyway, well, guys, I've gone on way longer on this one than I had actually intended to. But we got to start, so it kind of gives you an idea. You can see how I build and how I start a build and everything, and get all my prep work done and all this stuff. So like I said, we'll come to the body next time. I think that's going to do it for now. So I just want to say thank you, subscribers. The number's climbing. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to bring this stuff to you guys. I'm having a ball doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying it just as well. So with that, I think we're going to close out right there for now. We'll be back at this. Bad Man Project will continue for the Left Coast group build for 2023. Hosted by Paul over there at Left Coast Model Car Builds. So, and thank you, Paul, for putting this on. I'm having a good time doing it. So I just want to say, this is Eric from Eric's Model Garage. You guys have a great day. God bless you. Happy modeling.